If hundreds of people are applying for jobs, how can you stand out? As a student or graduate in a recruitment process, it's easy to focus too much on the competition. The reality is, you can't control how many people apply to the jobs you're interested in. A job could receive hundreds of applications, or it could receive tens. Either way, this is out of your control as a candidate. But what you can control is the quality of your own application. So, in this short video, we're going to tell you our 5 top tips on how to stand out in the job application process. Did you know, according to the student mental health charity, Student Minds, submitting too many applications can have a negative effect on your well-being? And applying for more jobs doesn't usually mean you'll receive more offers. In fact, it's better for your success rates and your stress levels to focus on quality over quantity in your job applications. Statistically, it's the first stage of a recruitment process which is the hardest to get through. But we also know it's often this stage where candidates put less time into it by just sending off a generic CV or application. But as this stage is the most competitive, it makes sense to put a bit more time and effort into your CV or application at the start to give yourself the best chance of success. So, here are our top tips for standing out in the application process. Number 1, do your research. Research is our top tip at every stage of the recruitment process, but it's particularly important for helping you figure out if a job is right for you. Don't just focus on the job title. Start with the job description or person specification to find out specific tasks or projects you could be working on. Move beyond the organisation's website. Read LinkedIn blogs or news articles about the sector. What are the challenges facing the sector at the moment? If the sector still interests you, why are you applying to this particular organisation? What makes them different from their competitors? Once you've answered these questions, you'll have a much better idea of how you'll fit in, and you'll be better prepared to start your application and stand out later stages of the recruitment process too. Number 2, tailor your CV. Some jobs will ask you to submit a CV, and others will ask you to fill in their own application form or answer a question like, why should we consider you for this role? Either way, this is your chance to show them how you match what they are looking for in their job advert. Although the format will be very similar, every CV you submit should be different. Read the job description and make a list of all of the skills or competencies they are asking for. Then, write down examples of projects or jobs where you have learned or demonstrated each of these skills. These are the examples that you want to include in your CV. Number 3, include a cover letter. Not all jobs will ask for a cover letter. Sometimes it will be optional, and sometimes they'll ask for you to answer a question instead. For example, tell us why you were interested in working for us. But the important thing is to follow their instructions closely and take whatever chance they give you to show your interest in the role and in the company. Lots of jobs want to see your passion, but what does this really mean? Well, we would say that passion equals research. So, by writing a cover letter which refers to any research you've done, you are much more likely to stand out. Talk about their products, projects, or clients, and why these appeal to you. What makes this organisation different, and why is that of interest to you? You can also refer back to the job description and add a little bit more information about how your skills and experience match the competencies they are looking for. Number 4, don't underestimate your experience. Surveys show that 56% of students and graduates don't know if they have the required work experience when looking for a job, but most people have way more experience than they think. When we talk about experience, we don't necessarily mean a previous paid job or internship in the sector. If you do have directly relevant experience, then that is great, but you can also talk about relevant skills or knowledge that you've learned through university projects or your dissertation. You can also think about extracurricular activities or sports you do. These will have inevitably helped you to develop your teamwork, self-motivation, and communication skills. Similarly, part-time jobs in a bar or in a shop can demonstrate excellent customer service, resilience, and time management skills. Make a list or even use LinkedIn to keep track of all of these things and note down the skills you are learning as you go. You can then look back at this when you next apply for a job. Number 5, pay attention to detail. Paying close attention to spelling and grammar is seriously important during the job application process. Imagine you are applying for a coding job and the recruiter finds a typo in your application. They will expect to find mistakes in your code as well. Or say you're applying for a social media marketing role and your grammar isn't correct. Do you think the organisation will trust you to represent them online? Probably not. Remember, you don't want to stand out for the wrong reasons. So it's always worth coming back to your application the next day and reading it through one more time before you submit it. But if you aren't confident with spelling and grammar, or if English isn't your first language, you can ask a trusted friend or maybe a colleague to proofread your application before you send it through to the employer. So, these are our 5 top tips for standing out during the application process. You should really start by researching the role and the organisation as well. You can then use what you have learned to write your CV and cover letter. Remember, you probably have more experience than you think. But no matter how experienced you are, always double check your spelling and grammar before you submit your application. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.